In this video, I'm looking at the SIVGA Oriole closed back headphones. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. Looky, we've got some woodies. So this is the SIVGA Oriole wooden closed back headphones. These are coming in at, well, currently at around $238. So there they are. Inside we've got a 50mm dynamic driver. That's about all there is to say about the internals. In terms of build quality, well, you can see it. It looks lovely. It looks lovely, doesn't it? It's lightweight. It's I can tell you how much it weighs actually. It's only 280 grams, so pretty lightweight. These ear cups are actually rosewood. Nice. Nice, lovely, soft pleather on the headband with a nice, generous amount of padding. On the ear pads, we've got the same protein leather. Nice and soft, very soft indeed. In terms of comfort, these are great. We've got these aluminium yokes here, and they swivel 180 degrees. I really like that. That is very useful. Bring it on. Oh, by the way, the adjustment sliders, listen to this. Got this nice crispy sound on the adjustment sliders, and they stay in place. They don't move about once you've set them like some headphones do. So build quality is really nice. Aesthetically, they look fantastic. By the way, here's the cable. Comes with a fabric sheath, and it's nice and supple. It's very lightweight. It's super light cable. It's got nice knurling on the plug and the connectors here. Good strain relief from top to bottom, so it's a good quality cable. However, it is quite microphonic. It does make a lot of noise because this rosewood ear cups are very thin. Any noise that you make, especially above the Y split with this cable, it sort of reverberates all the way through those ear cups, and it can be quite distracting. You don't notice it much when there's music playing. Of course, that varies depending on the volume and what kind of music it is. But yeah, that's enough with all that. I will do a comparison with the SIVGA Robin shortly, but let's talk about the sound now. And according to SIVGA's website, they say that the Oriole delivers a balanced, natural and accurate sound. And by golly, I think they've done it. The sound signature adheres pretty closely to the Harman over-ear 2018 target, which is fairly transparent with a little coloration added for musicality and naturalness. So the Harman 2018 OE or over-ear target, it's very Moondrop-ish, if you know what I mean. It's got that kind of VDSF look to it. So take that however you will. A lot of people like it. Personally, I think it's good, but could be better. But I'm getting ahead of myself again. But anyway, look. For a closed back headphone, the Oriole here has got a nice roomy soundstage. It's wide enough to reach the periphery or the edge of your headspace on the left and right, and it also has pretty good forward layering. As a result, instruments and vocals sound like they're in a real world space and not just in a flat 2D plane in front of the listener. On my very first listen, I thought the bass sounded a little bit loose and boomy on these, believe it or not. I don't remember what song I was playing at the time, but my initial impressions were of a sort of a bass-centric tuning, more akin to the SIVGA Robin, which I'll get to. However, after just a couple of hours of breaking these in, I realized that the sound was fairly neutral. And I guess either the headphones, but more likely my brain needed a little time to align with the sound. The relationship between the bass, the mid-range and the treble is fairly linear, although at times the upper mid-range does put a foot forward. So for the most part, the Oriole is a non-fatiguing headphone, but on certain tracks that upper mid-range can get a little bit edgy. Instrument separation and resolution are somewhat average, although the stage is reasonably wide. Notes sometimes have a slightly fuzzy outline, especially in complex music, so it's not super resolving. The detail retrieval, I'd say it's good, but if you're looking for those minute micro details, you probably won't find them here. So details, I'd say average to good, not great. As far as bass goes, it is punchy and agile. For the most part, the bass is delivered with punch and celerity, but it doesn't lack impact when it's needed. The sub bass can growl with some ferocity too. Not only that, the sub bass notes have some nice texture to them. Just a moment ago, I said that the bass is balanced with the mids and the treble. While that is true, these headphones still can deliver some thicker, meaty bass notes depending on the recording. Certain songs and tracks that I listen to, you do get a nice full body bass. So although they're fairly neutral in terms of quantity, they can get a bit of a thump going. The only people who probably would find the bass lacking are someone who wants that bass head experience. These are not a sort of a big bass headphone. They're going more for that balanced, high fidelity type of tuning. And that bass does carry over into the lower mid-range a bit, but it doesn't really cause any smearing. It's fairly nimble and fast, and it doesn't really cause any bloat. Onto the mid-range now, and the lower mids are fairly relaxed, but the upper mid-range can be strident and thin. This is most notable to my ears with certain electric guitars and trumpets, and on some songs with either or both of those, I find myself turning the volume down to avoid sort of squawking boxiness. However, this type of mid-range tilt sounds great for female vocals and acoustic instruments. Furthermore, it adds to the clarity and presence of Oriole's mid-range presentation. If you like a brighter mid-range, you'll probably enjoy this one, but if you prefer a rich, saturated mid-range, then you'll need to look elsewhere. Finally, the treble, and Oriole's treble is crisp but sweet, like a fresh piece of celery. There's no sharpness or sibilance present in the treble, but it has enough energy to give the overall sound a lift. It's not especially precise or detailed though, and micro detail retrieval is only average at best. It's obvious that the treble tuning is aimed at creating a natural tone rather than being clinically exacting. So let's have a look side by side now with the Robin. You'll notice that the pads are thicker on the Robin here, and there's a bit more room inside them for your ears, but these yokes or ear cups, they do not swivel, so it's a bit more fixed. Personally, I find both of these pretty much equal in terms of comfort, but there is a huge difference in the way each headphone sounds, and the SIVGA Robin sounds mellower and warmer. Surprisingly, the Robin soundstage is just as wide as the Oriole actually, but it has a sort of a more defined center image and note density. In terms of bass quantity, the Robin is not really that far ahead of the Oriole, except in the upper bass region. As a result of that, bass guitars and certain string instruments are more prominent in the soundscape. But the big determining factor that causes the difference between these two headphones is the upper mid-range tuning. The Robin's upper mids are more laid back, they are fuller and they are richer, kind of more saturated. In comparison, Oriole's upper mid bands are pushed well forward, making the overall tonality brighter and adding heaps of extra clarity in the process. The Robin has thicker notes from top to bottom, giving it a very inviting and cozy sound that you could listen to all day. The Oriole, on the other hand, is a lot brighter, albeit clearer, and anyone who is sensitive to the upper mid-range region might find the Oriole fatiguing. Both headphones have a pretty forgiving treble, but the Robin is easily the one to recommend to anyone who is sensitive to high frequencies, as it is considerably darker in tone. Oriole's extra treble energy increases its clarity and creates better definition and sharper transient attacks. So there it is, guys. That is the SIVGA Robin. And what do I think overall? I think it's pretty good. It's not the kind of headphone... Well, I was going to say it's not the kind of headphone I would listen to every day, but in fact I have been listening to it every day for like a month, just about. But in terms of tuning, overall tuning, it's probably a little bit too bright in the upper mid-range for my personal preference. I like headphones where, you know, a song comes on that I like, I can turn up the volume a bit. I don't have to worry about there might be some trumpets in the song, or there might be some electric guitars that are suddenly going to sound rather harsh and squawky in my ears. But overall, this is a pretty good headphone. As far as closed headphones go, I can't really think of a lot that would compete directly with them. But when it comes to open back headphones, different story entirely. You've got things like the Beyerdynamic DT990 Pro or 770. I find that far superior. It's got greater depth, it's got better note density, it's just sounds a bit more natural. Not to mention that's like $100 less than these almost. And then you've got the One Audio Monitor 80, which is a highly underrated headphone. Excellent value for around, I think it's $100 if my memory serves me. And that is also excellent. But both of those are open back. If you're looking for a closed back headphone, yeah, I could recommend these. Can't think of anything off the top of my head. Although I do have the new Moondrop, the second version that is, of the Moondrop Void here. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to listen to those yet, but keep an eye out because that video will be dropping soon as well. But for today, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you like how the SIVGA Oriole looks? How do you feel about those wooden headphones? How do you feel about open back versus closed back? And yeah, anyway, check out the description below. I've got links to the full written review on my social media channels, etc, etc. If you want to support the channel, I've got a Patreon going. And yeah, that's it for me today. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, Parfam Audiophile style. And if you are new to the channel and you want to see more content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you later.